Over the last year and a half, many local businesses have been hit hard. Many have closed their doors for the last time, greatly affecting our communities. It seems as if the little guy doesn't stand a chance as profits plummet and costs climb. But we are not out of the fight. We have the opportunity to accelerate the local economy, restore the local business, and fight for our community. Shopping local doesn't have to be limited to one Saturday out of the year. So what would happen if we supported our local businesses, our neighbors, our friends? Let's rebuild and restore. Let's stay local.
So yeah, tell me where we're at. What are we doing?
This is Ekin Nutrition. We've been here in Rockwall for the past 12 years. I opened the store in 2009 in what was apparently one of the worst economic disasters and time periods of my lifetime, but would not let that deter me and wasn't going to stop.
What were your thoughts whenever you said, all right, this is real, I've committed to this, but the landscape, let's say, things don't look so hopeful, they may look a little bleak. What were some of your, what was the mindset at the beginning there?
I was blind. I was honestly either ignorant or didn't want to see it or wasn't gonna see it because I knew what I wanted to accomplish, and I knew myself well enough to know that I would stop at nothing to accomplish that. Heaven forbid if something did not go the way that it was planned, I would know it would not be because I didn't give it my best or give it 100% or give it all that I knew that I could. Thankfully, it has somewhat panned out to be okay, and we're here another day.
My belief is some of that is just instinctive tendencies or these innate characteristics or qualities that someone has to look out and say, yes, this is challenging. Yes, many before me have failed. It's not an ideal circumstance or scenario, and I will still continue on in spite of those things. So kind of as we're kind of looking at that, and we're in a similar season now, over the last couple of years, small businesses have been just hit hard. We know that with the pandemic and with restrictions and everything else, fill in the blank, there have been a lot of just obstacles that they have to be overcome, they have to be addressed, they have to be considered for the small business owner in particular. Is some of that similar to when you first started in kind of like a bad economy? Is some of that maybe reminiscent of how things began?
Yes and no. 2009 was a different economy than it is today for different reasons. The economy that we have today is based on a lot of decisions that are out of my control or made by people for their overall betterment of the world or however they want to sell it. But honestly, in 2009 I didn't have government telling businesses they had to close down. I didn't have people saying you can't leave your house or you have to live in your spare bedroom for 2 weeks. We didn't have that. So it was the same in that, sure, business is always hard, but it was different in that someone was controlling things that I couldn't control. I can't outwork me being able to unlock the door or not, because government regulations require that. Thankfully, we never locked our doors. We sell food here, so we were considered an essential business. But I'll be honest, even if we didn't have that, I probably wouldn't have locked my door anyway.
It's worth doing, right?
100%.
You've stepped into something that you knew was difficult, and every day has been a reminder that it's difficult, but you still choose to continue on because it is worth doing.
Absolutely.
I love that. That's, we talked a bit before about how it's just contagious. People with the same just kind of morals and values and beliefs, you just kind of gravitate together. Maybe it's a common mission or a common purpose, even beyond what we do independently, what we do from a communal perspective. So kind of talk to me a little bit about what has the response been from the community over the past couple of years? Have you seen maybe an increase in local support, support of local businesses and support of the people that are from here, that set up shop here and call this place home? Yeah, what's been your, what's been the response there?
I'd probably break it down into two different audiences. There's a group of other small business owners, and then there's the actual physical customer that shops in those. The other small business owners, that's a crew that gets it. That's a secret language that owners have between each other that needs no explanation, needs no interpretation or translation of it. We just know. We know what it takes to put the key in the door every day. what it takes to write a check for your rent, make your payroll, supply chain struggles, all that. From a customer aspect, Rockwall's a little bit different of a bubble. So I have this store, I've had up to 3 stores at one time in different cities around North Texas. And the Rockwall community is different. It's not the same in Plano, in Frisco, where I was before. And so Rockwall has been really good, historically has been really good about supporting small business. Even during the past 2 years, I would say that it's gotten stronger for that. Regardless of actually spending the money, sometimes it's just talking about those places. Social media has enabled us to reach crowds globally in terms. And so whether you live down the street from the store or you live on the other side of the globe, I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure that you get a product that you want from me. That's why I'm here, to supply or fill a need. So customers have been really good for that. I hope it stays that way. I hope that, you know, you can go back 20 years and look at September 12th, and everybody loved America, and that was the big push for it. We've slowly migrated from that 20 years later in a lot of ways. And so I hope that once we're taking here and really a push for small business today, we can hold on to. Because yes, Amazon is great, you know, Walmart is great, but at the end of the day, those aren't the people that are sponsoring your Little League team. Those aren't the people that are doing 5K races and stuff like that. Yes, we need those, but we need us as well. You need us. Yeah. And sometimes we take it for granted a little bit in that. So we appreciate everything we can get from people.
Well, that's good. And it's encouraging to hear too, because I do believe that there's that common mission, that common goal. I love that you mentioned the people that support the Little League teams and support the initiatives to put money back into the first responders and put money back into the schools and really support local are the people who do set up shop here.
Yeah.
And yes, we'll always need things beyond what we can account for here within our range, but if we're looking here first and then supplementing that with things outside of what we can get locally, that may be a better approach as opposed to just always being dependent on Amazon dropping it off on our front porch. So I love that perspective. And I also think too, kind of going back to the point of like community supporting community, I think that it's contagious. I think that sometimes just creating enough of an initiative for people to kind of sink their teeth into and be part of might be the spark we need to continue it or revitalize it or revamp it. And I mean, really that's my hope with this series is creating an excitement again, helping to remind people of just the power of community, the power of support of local businesses, the power that we have where we can choose where we shop. Like you said, we can choose whose posts we share on social media. We can choose the interaction that we have. And everybody has that choice, whether they own a business or not. And it's just making the conscious effort to say, I know that guy, I support that guy, I like what he's doing, I'm gonna spend my dollars there, I'm gonna cheer for him, I'm gonna cheer him on and send people his way. And it takes little to no extra effort. It's just something that's intentional. So all of that to say, what would your call be? What would your encouragement be to people who maybe that's their heart, they've just forgotten it, or they don't know how they could be maybe helping that cause now?
Yes, I would love to have your dollar, but I would also just love for you to tell your friends. Share a post. You can write a review on any business because people read those. Yes. And that sometimes means just as much as the dollar in providing that information out there for everybody across the country to be able to see that.
Those are huge. I think huge in value, and what's even more interesting is it's very little in what it requires.
It's easy.
Costs.
It's like
so
2
easy.
clicks and a couple of sentences.
10 minutes on a,
Love it, great product.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, guy was nice.
Yeah.
Ugly, whatever. It takes something to do that.
Sure.
And it doesn't cost you anything.
Exactly. Because you're on the other end too, looking at someone who's trying to find the right place to buy their product. Yes. They're trying to find someone that they can trust. And maybe we've developed, or we're conditioned to have a skeptical view, and we don't trust someone until we see that other people have trusted someone. Yeah. So that goes a long way. You know, when Mrs. Jones comes in, you ask her how the kids are, it means something to her. You know, you know her kids by name. Yes. They go to school with you. Like, there's something that cannot be replaced. That's, again, it's that communal, relatable human element that I don't believe we should let go of so easily.
But that's where people love to go, and they, by default, shop in places where they feel welcome, they feel warm, they feel comfortable, they feel protected, they feel looked out for. and they feel like somebody cares about them and asks about soccer games or whatever. I wish more business owners would capitalize on that, and I wish more consumers would maybe acknowledge that and really use that and say, that's why I go there all the time.
It's the person behind the counter.
Yes,
It's
100%.
It's the heart in that person that cares
Yes.
for you when you're
Yes.
making the purchase.
You can get a pizza anywhere. You can get a burger anywhere. You can buy vitamins anywhere. But it's where you feel connected.
Yeah. I think that's huge, and we're experiential beings, and maybe if it's not too bold for me to say, the responsibility on the consumer then is to seek that out.
Yeah.
Again, we're calling people to shop local. We're calling people to stay local when it's possible. And then on the other end, it's a call to the business owner to say, be that.
Yeah.
Be
Yeah.
extra
Do it.
aware
Yeah.
and intentional about
Yeah.
the person that walks through your doors. You're grateful for their business. You're intentional and grateful for the time spent with them. If you can help them by giving them information, giving them a product that solves their problems,
Yeah.
and you can give them the warmth of the experience, that's our responsibility as
Yeah.
business owners. And I
Yeah.
think that those two paired together, that's the secret sauce, right? That's community thrives because the businesses are doing well and vice versa. And the business owner cares for the person that walks through their door, and the consumer knows that it's every time can be expected to be pleased with their experience.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.